Okay, back here with John Carey, sales associate with Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment, with a focus on the New Jersey Devils. This topic that we're going to discuss is one of my favorites. It's grit. I'm going to let John take it because he is a very gritty human being, and you guys are going to learn about his experience with grit.
How's it going, guys? John Carey again, inside sales associate with Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment. Like Caleb, grit is one of my favorite characteristics that not only I find in young salespeople, but also young sports industry people like yourself. It's all about getting down and dirty with the work that you want to do, not being afraid to go the extra mile. I'll start there. Going the extra mile is something a lot of people say, a lot of young people say, and it's kind of the catchphrase nowadays. But do you really do it? Grit is the grunt work when nobody is watching. That's how I always like to put it. It's what you're doing behind closed doors. Grit to me really represents people that want to be successful by themselves, not just because other people are watching. I keep referencing that because it's very important in sales as well. With my experience as a young sales associate, whenever my boss was around, certain people go right to the phones and start cranking out phone numbers. That's not the people my boss is looking for. My boss is looking for people that are stepping up when he's not around, making sure everybody's on task, making sure everybody is, we always like to say, smiling and dialing. Making sure everybody's getting their outbound calls, getting touch points with people, and getting to know people. True grit, I think, comes when you're by yourself or when very little people are watching. Okay,
so as someone who has led before, whether it was at Newman University as president of senior seminar, or in your current job, you're also leading your individuals that you work with, or also leading a team, which will be your next step in your career. How do you find grit, or how do you produce grit when you're not feeling the greatest?
Absolutely. I think you have to find something inside of yourself, especially in those frustrating days. I'll give you an example. Some days are just so tough. You make calls, people aren't answering, people are hanging up right away. That's sports sales, folks. It really is. A lot of people don't want to talk to you. But you find that one person that you can have a good conversation with, and you go from there. It's about having a short memory. A short memory is so important with grit because when somebody tells you to never call them again, take them off the contact list, that next call has no idea that last person just told you that. It's a completely new call that might be a sale. So you go in there with a positive, confident attitude every time, and that's how you find true grit. Reset every time. Take a breath. Relax. Even if even if the call doesn't go well, I think it's important to, take a step back and, realize where you are.
Great. So last question for the grit piece of this. What is the grittiest thing that you've ever done or has seen somebody do? So if it's something like, someone you emulate or, look as a role model, is there something you've seen them do or that you've done that's the grittiest thing you do?
Absolutely. So I would have to go to my mentor now at my work. His name's Jared Hurlins. He is an incredible workhorse. That's what I call him. He's one of those guys that gets to work at 7 a.m. and works till 7 p.m. on the phones, sending emails, trying to get as many touch points with these people as he possibly can. The moment that I reference most often with him is he went through a month stretch where he didn't sell a single penny. And as an account executive, which is the next level up above sales associate at Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment, that is not that great. But what did he do? He got gritty. He got down and dirty. He would work 12-hour days, go above and beyond like we're talking about, going the extra mile, and made those 100, 120 calls, as much possible talk time as he can, 3-4 hours of talk time a day, to finally get those sales, to finally build up that pipeline, we like to call it, of sales, and start closing some deals.
Very good. Thank you for solving grit and teaching everybody about your grit experiences.
Of course.